So this video and the next one is going to be all about how to record and edit videos. Now, not all videos need to be done face to camera like this one is, but I have been asked for those that want to do it, how? What tips have I picked up over the last 13 years? So I'm going to share with you a video I recorded, must have been about 8 years ago now, for some entrepreneur friends in southern Spain who were rather camera shy. So there was one very important part though that I didn't include in the video because I knew they already knew that. So I'm going to add that to the end of this video. So I will pass you over to younger me to give you her top tips for filming to camera. Hello! In this video we're going to talk about videos. I'm going to give you my 3 top tips that will enable you to be more natural in engaging on camera, even if you consider yourself to be quite shy and introverted. Tip number 1. Eye contact is as important on camera as it is in real life, so you absolutely must look in the centre of the camera lens. Even 1 inch to one side, like I'm doing now, makes all the difference, and it makes it feel as if I'm looking over your shoulder to see if there's somebody more interesting, which is not a nice thing to experience, so make sure you look directly in the camera lens. Now, it's all very well looking directly at the lens, but how do you avoid monotone drone? The answer to that leads us nicely into tip 2. Emotion. Talking to a camera is a bit like having a conversation with a chair or a wall. It's an inanimate object, and so it's not going to be exciting. So you cannot talk to the camera. You have to talk to the person. So I pretend the person I'm talking to is trapped inside the camera or they're behind a glass screen. Now, why do I do that? Why do I not just pretend they're here with me? Well, that leads on to tip 3, energy. I found that you have to put a considerable more amount of energy into talking on camera than you do when someone's there in real life. So that's why I pretend that the person is either in the camera or behind a glass screen. They can't quite see me, so I've got to project a lot more energy into getting my message to reach them. When you're talking face to face with someone, that interaction makes you more animated and come to life. But with camera, that person isn't there, so you've got to lift yourself without them being there. So you need to use the theatre of your mind to imagine times when you've had conversations where the topic, you're really passionate about it. So bring those to the forefront of your mind and then just do that to the camera. And this all comes back to tip number 2, emotion. As our friend Tony Robbins would say, get yourself into state. And once you've done that, then the energy comes automatically. But you don't want the same emotion and energy to run through the entire video. It has to ebb and flow as it would in real life. So for your opening, you might imagine that you're meeting up with a really good friend you've not seen in ages. And that will convey excitement and being really pleased to see someone. And don't underestimate how being pleased to see someone, the impact that has. Think about when a dog comes up to you and they're so excited to see you and wagging its tail. Unless you hate dogs, you can't help but feel warm and fuzzy inside because someone's so pleased to see you. Now, I'm not saying you have to impersonate a dog when you do your video greeting, but it's that energy and warmth that you've got to get across in your opening hello. Then you want to switch your energy over to be relevant with the topic you're sharing. So if you're teaching and you genuinely feel joy at sharing the information you've got to give with others, bring that across. Or alternatively, think about your big why. Why are you doing what you do? Why is it important that you get your message across to someone? And then once you've got yourself to really feel that emotion, then you've got to stuff it down the camera for all your worth. Or I believe the correct term is project. You have to project yourself, darling, so that that comes across to camera. There's no point in having the emotion if you haven't got the energy to get it to your audience. So exactly how much energy do you need to put into what you're doing? Well, you're going to have to experiment and find for yourself, but personally I put enough in to the point where I'm feeling slightly silly. That's usually about right. So experiment. Go to the ridiculous. Hello, it's so good to see you in your opening, and then wind it down to hello, thanks for being here, and hello, I'm so pleased you're here, and find the level that works for you. So if you do a 5-minute vid every day for a month, by the end of that month, you will have got pretty good at it. Even if you don't publish the videos and you're just telling people about what you've had for breakfast. This is a very learnable skill. I'll show you a clip from my very first video and you'll see how I've learned all the things that I've shared with you in this video. This is the first in a set of video tutorials filmed for Successful Garden Design, the online garden design school for homeowners. In this first video, you will see a survey of a small courtyard garden. When you come to survey your own garden, it's really important to keep the tape measure flat. So that was fairly awful, wasn't it? I mean, could I have been any more wooden if I'd tried? I think possibly not. So if I can do this, you can. And a lot of comments that I get from people is, oh, I'm quite shy and I'm not articulate on camera and, you know, I'm an introvert. Well, actually, my default setting is introvert and I am shy, but I've had to get over that because it's important that I do this on camera. That's what brings me business. The wonderful thing about camera is you have complete control. You can script every word you say. You can edit it afterwards, unlike in real life. If you find yourself getting tongue-tied and you're feeling self-conscious, then your focus is wrong. You have to focus on the person that you're serving, the point of this video. Focus on the other person. This isn't about you, it's about them. So to recap on the 3 essential E's: eye contact, emotion, energy. So one last tip for you. I highly recommend you develop what I call the newsreader's stare. Now you notice at the end when they've finished reading the news, they look up and they just stare at the camera. You need to do that because you'll find that there's no way you'll deliver an entire script in one go perfectly. I used to only be able to say a sentence at a time, if I was lucky. Now at least I can manage an entire paragraph before I have to check my notes again to see what I'm meant to be saying. So it's really helpful if your head is in exactly the same position at the beginning and end of each section. What you find especially if you're sitting down, or even if you've got notes, that you'll be delivering your sentence and then your mind's thinking, what do I have to say next? And you start to look down at your notes, or worse still, I've edited myself where I've actually got up out the chair to switch the camera off and I hadn't finished saying what I was meant to be saying. So allow yourself that newsreader stare and pause at the end of each section, and it'll make your editing life so much easier. Now in the next video, I will show you some video editing techniques that will save you a ton of time. So the most important part that younger me left out was you really need to be your authentic self. Now that doesn't mean to say you give off your entire personality, you choose which bits of your personality you're going to make public. So for example, I spent a lot of my early years running landscaping construction crews, which meant I'd be out on building sites, and often as not, I was the only woman on site. So it's fair to say I've picked up some quite colourful expressions that I don't use in the videos, and I save them for my friends and family. So if you meet me in real life, my language is a bit more colourful than it is on camera, and also I don't actually talk this much. I'm much quieter, but you can't really do videos and just sit there in quiet contemplation. So other than that, you're getting the authentic me, because unless you are being your authentic self, people will pick up on it and they cannot form that bond and that trust with you if you're trying to be someone else. So just be you. So in the next video, my younger self will show you how to edit videos. And if you do actually want to learn how to do online courses, which is where I downloaded these videos from, I do actually have a whole course on how to create an online training program. So I will put the link in the video description below, because that is on special offer at the moment. So I'll see you in the next video. Well, a much younger version of me will see you in the next video.